Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Ramen podcast. I'm your host, Juan, and as always, my co-host here with me. Hey, Trip.
Hi.
How you doing, man?
I'm so good now that you're here.
Oh, nice. I've been here for a while now.
I've been waiting all day for you to show up.
I've been here for several hours now.
It's really nice to finally be here with you again.
I've been here.
This week we're talking about Liz and the Bluebird.
I've been here for like 3 hours.
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, and this week we are talking about Liz and the Bluebird, a movie that came out, last year?
Yeah.
And it just came out on Blu-ray very recently.
Yeah.
You happened to purchase it.
I did.
So we are going to happen to talk about it.
Oh, baby, and boy, will we. But
yeah, for
first, I want to know about your life, man. Tell me about it. What's good with you? What have you been doing?
Well, school started up today. So.
I've heard of school.
Yeah, but last week was spring break, and I went to a game developers conference. Maybe you've heard of it, a little GDC. It's
that stands for Game Developer Conference, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so I went to that for 2-3 days. I was only at the conference for a couple days. Wheeling and dealing.
Yeah.
Doing the shaking of the palms, networking. We kept doing this. We kept like putting our hands like together like this and going networking. It's not very useful for like a, podcast because you can't see me. But imagine my hands going like this. Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
If you put your hands like up to the mic.
Like that, yeah. But it's not like there's no like clapping noise. It's just like a friction.
It's just
thing.
a flappy slappy.
Yeah. So there's a lot of networking. It was interesting. I didn't really know what to expect because I'd never been to a conference like that before. I've been to conventions and expos and stuff. So I was curious to see what a conference was like. It's kind of like an expo, I guess.
Yeah.
There was no figures. There was no artist alley though. The worst fucking part.
It's a little bit more like just booths.
Yeah, there's booths. There's a lot of people like in the industry who like big names like Microsoft and fucking Unreal and Unity, and they're there and they're just kind of showing off their tech,
Yeah.
There's a lot of giveaways, a lot of free shirts and shit like that. The coolest thing I got that was free, I got free professional headshots.
Hell yeah.
Which I thought was pretty nice. And they're like, I was kind of confused. Like, what do you need a professional headshot for? Like, for your LinkedIn page or for your Facebook page or
it does not hurt to have. I'll tell you that much.
So,
did you do your hair?
I didn't because I wore a hat.
Oh my gosh, I know. Oh,
I wore a hat, and so I was like, it's cool. It's fine. I just wear my hat on backwards like a badass. But the worst part was the hoodie I was wearing was the Instant Ramen hoodie I had. So it's just like me looking there all professional with this with our logo on our chest. I was like, fuck. And underneath it, I was like, well, I had a black shirt underneath, but it had like a Kiss Him Not Me girl from fucking Kiss Him Not Me, the anime. So I was like, well, fuck. Either way, it looked like a weeb. One makes you look like less of a weeb, though. I guess. So I fucking took off the hoodie. No,
that's what I was gonna say. I'm like, anime podcast is weebier than anime, right?
Yeah. So I kept the hoodie on, and they look good. I could go in Photoshop and edit them out if I really wanted to, but I kind of like the way it looks. I think it's pretty fun. I'll show you them. And I don't smile with my teeth because I don't like teeth smiling. So two of them.
How do you smile?
Just like this.
Oh, actually, that looks pretty good, Thanks, guys.
Man. Take his word for it. So two of them are closed mouth smiles, and one was he's like, okay, cross your arms, turn sideways, and look at the camera. So I look like I'm like a UFC fighter in a title match or whatever. I look really mean.
I'm gonna ruin your life.
You need a fucking animator.
Hire me. I'll fuck you up.
I like that one the best. Sierra like the other two better. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. Maybe I will put them on my LinkedIn.
I don't know. I'll definitely take a copy.
People. Just start spreading them around.
I gotta hang it on my ceiling. I'm gonna make a tapestry out of it.
Make what you should make?
A quilt.
No, make a fucking car air freshener of it.
Oh, okay.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That was the coolest thing I feel like I got. We went to quickly gonna talk about it. So there's the issue I had was there wasn't a real section for animators. There's a section for programmers and level designs and textures and modelers and audio people. Tiny section for audio people, by the way. One of the guys I went with is an audio guy.
Yeah.
There's 3 booths he had to check out, and he goes, "I just gotta go check out the 3 booths I check out every year because that's all there ever is for us. No one fucking loves us."
Nothing wrong with that.
So there was no audio, animation section, and when I did talk to people about animation, they would start talking to me about games, and we've talked about this. I'm not the most versed when it comes to video games. I'm not very woke or whatever.
Name a game.
Fucking Pocket Tanks.
Okay. That's your go-to game.
Yeah, that's my favorite game. I play that game every day.
You're like Scrabble.
Words with friends. So some people just kind of come up. I mean, some of these people are a little awkward, so like they just make the effort to talk to people. They don't even have to do it. Like they kind of just barge into you. So like they would talk to me and they just instantly started talking about like video games and stuff they're passionate about, but not like just like video games, but like the process of making video games or whatever. Like, and a lot of it was just confusing and like went over my head, And so then they'd be like, "What do you think?" And I'd be like, and I had to
sure fucking don't know.
I'd be really honest and be like, well, I mean, honestly, a lot of that stuff, like I didn't understand. I'm an animator, and then I would point to my badge, like you can see it says animator. And more often than not, their responses were, "Oh, you're an animator? Oh, that's fucking cool, man. You got it set. That's nice. Good for you." And which kind of upset me because, I mean,
you didn't. Yeah,
I didn't feel that way, because it's true that there's a lot of opportunities to do game animation in it, as an animator or whatever. In the industry, it's a great way to get your foot in the door. But from what it looked like around the conference, no one wanted to talk to any animators. So I was like, well, fuck. I feel like people keep just saying, "Hey, man, you got it made." But like, I didn't feel like I had it made because no one was talking to me.
Did you ask anyone, like, where should I go to get it made?
Yeah.
Because...
I mean, I talked to people about it. Most people were just like, "Oh, I'm just kind of indie or whatever." I did get as somebody that's trying to break into the animation industry and whatnot, where should I go?
Indie is where you should fucking go.
But a lot of them were telling me to move to like Australia and Canada, which is like, I'm not doing that.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
to me.
but I'm not doing that.
No,
I'm not going there. It's too hot. It's too cold. Not doing it.
Yeah.
I did talk to a couple people who were pretty cool. One was alumni, and he was letting me know, like, he's like, "Got any questions?" What's funny is like he was asking. He had to leave. He's like, "Hey man, my parking is about to be up, but I'm willing to talk to you for the next 7 minutes." And I go, "Cool." And I'd been waiting at this place to get my food for like 30 minutes. And my food finally shows up when he gets there. And he goes like, "Hey man, what questions do you have?" Like, fuck, I really want to talk to him, but I'm fucking starving. And I was like, well, I'll just start talking to him and then I'll just try not to eat. And he kept talking and talking. And I was like, fuck, I'm just starving. I'm getting lightheaded. I'm getting dizzy. So everything I ordered was in a box to go. So I just kind of started opening boxes and just shoving food in my mouth, but still just not breaking eye contact with this guy. Just looking at him and be like, yeah, that's so cool.
As I'm putting myself in his shoes, what a treat. What a treat to be like, I'm going to help out this kid. He needs a little bit extra guidance and direction. I can be the one to help him. And then you're just like, yeah, do what else.
Dude, I was so, I mean, he did say, "Oh man, your food's getting cold. You should probably eat." Like he did suggest eating. I was like, thank God. He
let you out.
Yeah,
that's good.
When you say he was looking at me like a kid, he's younger than I am.
Oh no, I know.
Yeah, okay,
I'm imagining he's an alumni, but you also got to this point a little bit later than a lot of people who could afford crazy shit.
He worked at Telltale.
Oh yeah,
but they just went under.
Yeah,
whatever.
No, but that's a cool person to talk to because he's been on the good sides of Telltale's fucking doing so many things. Look at all these new franchises they're kind of starting. Like, oh man, the Arkham series, they're taking that on and bringing on some Telltale Batman. They just got Game of Thrones. Hey, did you hear that they're doing the, King's Quest games? And
then they went under.
Got I'm a fucking idiot. Yeah. Walking Dead. All these different new things.
Especially and for animators, it's because like the game's barely a game. It's a glorified like fucking
movie.
Yeah, absolutely. But he was telling me how it was to work there and like what it was like trying to get the job process. It was super cool. Right now he's applying to a place at Lucasfilms, and he said he's really excited and he's really hopeful he gets the job. And I was like, dude,
that honestly,
dude, that's fucking awesome. I also hope you get the job because if you get the job, I can be like, hey, I know a guy that works at Lucasfilms or whatever.
I have a question though. Actually, is he applying at Lucasfilms or Lucasfilms Games?
At Lucasfilms.
Okay,
cool. He also wanted to do TV and film. Yeah, but he's just like, there's so many opportunities in game, so he went into game first. So now he's trying to transition to film.
That's awesome,
which is good. Yeah. So he was cool to talk to. There's this other guy who I think I didn't really understand. I still don't completely understand what he's saying. Again, really confusing. I don't know if it's the thing he does or makes games for children or makes TV shows or like small TV programs for children, but they're directed towards children that speak Spanish, like Latinos or whatever. So it's like, so the one thing I had going for me was I was Mexican and I spoke Spanish. So I got to hit him up and see what's going on with him. Besides that, I went to like a bunch of shitty mixers.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing.
Dude, one mixer we went to was really nice because the music was really quiet.
Oh, that's good. That's key for these kinds of events.
Yeah, and then we're all talking, having a good time. People are being super chill. I went to a mixer that was 2 hours after this mixer, and it was a mess. The music was shitty house music. It was played to full. People were getting drunk and dancing, and it was just like, this is no longer a mixer. This is like
that's just a party.
This is a party. So I also went to a party at Zynga. You know what Zynga is, right?
Bazinga, yeah.
Zynga, yeah. Did you say Bazinga?
Yeah.
There's a lot of Bazinga jokes that I heard while I was there, though.
Oh, really? Okay, so I'm not the most original person. No. Who would have fucking thought?
Zynga does mobile games. Their most popular one's probably Word with Friends or whatever. They were having a huge party at their their fucking office down there, and the place was pretty sick. It was like 3 floors, 2 floors we were allowed to be, and then like everything above the 3rd floor was VIP or whatever. But they had free food, free alcohol, like they had board games and not board games, like arcade games and stuff. It was a good time. Again, music was way too loud, so it wasn't a good place to mix, but it was a nice place to just like kind of relax or whatever. Besides that, man, honestly, it was a good time. I don't think I'd go again unless I specifically go for to meet somebody. Like if I had like a ahead of time, someone was like, hey, come see me at GDC, then I would go.
I'm gonna do a thing right now where I call out your boys that you went with. Hey, fuck you guys for not trying to hold Juan's hand and leading him to all the right people, okay?
No.
I'm sitting over here and I'm like, hey, go check this out. It's got some cool animation. You might like this. I just heard about this. This would be a good thing to get into. No. And fuck your boys for taking care of themselves instead of you.
My boys did the perfect. My boys were very helpful, and then my boys are also. I mean, one of them's graduated. 2 of them are about to graduate. They were out there trying to get jobs for themselves, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no. Fuck them for trying to take care of themselves and give themselves the future they deserve.
I want to make it very clear that I don't feel the same way as Trip. I was very happy at the way they did. I am very proud of them. I hope they all get jobs in whatever they're doing, and if they do get a job, that's one more person I know that's in the industry or whatever. So, fuck you, Trip. My boys did fine.
Nah, man.
Why are you being so mean to my boys?
I don't know if you've listened to anything I've said.
You're an asshole.
But, I hate your boys. They just don't treat you with the respect that you should treat yourself.
I wish you'd love me the way my boys love me.
No, they love themselves and you. That's what I'm trying to say, man.
Oh, God, you're full of shit.
They're looking out for themselves. You trying to tell me that they weren't looking out for themselves?
Absolutely they were, because they should.
Okay, because that's what I'm fucking saying. They're looking out for themselves and not you. Fuck you guys. I don't look out for anyone but you.
That's ridiculous, Trip.
Yeah, that is.
Anyways, that was most of my spring break.
That's a weird break, but I dig it. It's like a new thing for you.
I got back on like Friday, and I was like super. Did I see you Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw you Friday. I was super tired,
and then I went to the movies on Friday.
Fuck, we did. We saw Us. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was fun.
And then I got back. Saturday obviously was here, but I was really tired up until like late Sunday. Started feeling like normal again. My body didn't ache as much. My feet stopped throbbing. I've also decided that I'm going to invest in some walking shoes for Anime Expo.
Totally, man.
Because, fuck, my feet hurt.
I've thought about that a lot. I just don't know how to find good walking shoes.
You have to go to fucking Fleet Feet or some shit like that.
I hate going places.
I hate going places too.
Listen, you guys, I subscribe to things, okay? I'm not subscribing to going out in the world and fucking dealing with shit.
If you guys are
I need a new shoe subscription. Somebody hit me up.
Yeah, if you guys know any people places that subscribe shoes, hit us up because we need shoes.
Or at least like soles or socks or fucking anything that's shoe related.
Yeah,
you know?
Or like a wheelchair or something.
Oh, can you subscribe to a wheelchair
anything
service?
Absolutely. Anything that will take pressure off our feet.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was that. Today I went to the dentist. That was super shitty.
Oh yeah, no, I heard your mouth is being dumb now.
My mouth fucking hurts so bad.
They just looked at your mouth and were like, "Oh yeah, we could take out like half of it." And they just scraped about half of your teeth off, right?
I also didn't get my usual dental hygienist.
Oh yeah.
I got some new chick, and what's weird is that she didn't even introduce herself, and she kind of pretended like she knew who I was. She was like, "Hey man, nice to see you. How you been?" Blah blah. I'm like, I very well remember the one that last I talked, my last chick, because I've had her for a couple years now, and we I know who she is. We bullshit about the same stuff. She likes a lot that I'm in animation because she has family members that work in animation, and we talk about that stuff. So but this lady showed up, and I showed up, and she just pretended I've known her forever.
I 100% guarantee what happened was she doesn't know who her old clients were and who her new ones are after taking upon a new load or whatever.
She's just treating us all
Yeah, she's like, well, I don't remember if I've actually met him before, but I probably have. And I'm probably an asshole for not remembering him. So I'm going to pretend like I do, and that way we're all good.
But it felt super fucking fake.
Oh, yeah, no, it was.
Oh, it was the worst. But
I've definitely been there where people are like, hey, man, how have you been? I'm like, so good. What's new with you? Who the fuck is this? I need to figure this out now. I don't think I've ever seen them in my life. What's happening right now? Yeah.
And she was very like heavy-handed. I feel like she was fucking getting in there. And my mouth hurts because of that.
Yeah, she was just like, hey, can we just like pop your jaw for a second here? Because I got to reach in deep.
Fucking, she was scraping away. That's what I've been up. How you been, man? What you been up to?
Listen, man, I don't remember much of my week leading up to Friday. Mm-hmm. But Friday, Us came out, and the new hit Jordan Peele film. And there's a lot of controversy, I guess, behind this movie because people expected it to be something amazing and it wasn't what they expected it to be. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with people. I went into it expecting a horror movie and was very pleasantly surprised that that's not exactly what I got. Without spoiling much, it takes a very, I felt like, natural curve into a surrealist comedy horror where they were making a lot of jokes and doing a lot of goofy stuff. They had the right people in all the roles. I was terrified at the beginning of the movie, and then I became enthralled and was just having so much fun and just like, look at this shit and look at that shit. This is fucking fun. They had really natural ways to separate the characters. They had a lot of really interesting ideas of how to handle different things. All their like things that they brought up early that you're like, oh, this is clearly like foreshadowing for something, were a lot of fun. I really liked a lot of the things that they had in it. And then it comes down to the plot. And I don't know if this is what happened, but the way it felt was there was a concept for a movie and they made it. And they had like a script written and everything. And they were like, and this is it. And then after different people read it, like executives, or I don't know if they did some screen testing beforehand or what, it feels like people were like, yeah, but we need more. We need more than that. We need like an actual plot. People aren't going to like it without a plot. And then they threw a plot in there and they're like, people like twists. So let's put the twist in there and let's kind of make everything else happen. And I feel like all of that shit was completely unnecessary. You could have had a really esoteric, weird ass plot. And that would have been fine, but instead they tried to make it seem like, and this is why it happened. And I hated that part of it.
Maybe they try to make it more commercial or like
I think that's what they did.
Like user friendly or whatever.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I remember, I mean,
I came away from it really happy. I really liked that movie.
I remember seeing the trailers for Get Out and the trailers for Us and you know, just being like, this looks interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of vaguely have an idea what was going to happen. And then every time I come out, I'm like, didn't see it going that way. So that's how I felt about this one. And that's great because I hate when you fucking see a trailer and it's just like, oh, spoiled it. They literally show you the ending or whatever. You're like, well, what the fuck, you know?
Or like they tease it what the end is or something like that. Yeah.
Or they fucking tease or spoil like a twist. You're like, why would
I hardly want to know anything. I want to know the very basic plot of the movie. And that's all I want to know.
Yeah. So I came out of Us pleasantly like surprised of what happened. And I'm not going to say like I was fooled by everything. There were parts that I was for sure like scared, and there was parts that I was really enjoying because of like the sense of humor and stuff. Yeah. And it was a good set of actors and the characters they played was good. I really liked the fact that they made it feel really grounded in reality, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, because like I felt like I see a lot of horror movies and people just make dumb choices, you know? And I mean, I wouldn't say any of the choices made here were dumb. Maybe some were kind of questionable, but none of them were like, why the fuck is this dumb bitch doing that?
Oh, absolutely. Especially like we've already established who the characters are and the different kinds of mistakes or what, I don't know if I want to call them mistakes. Yeah, the different choices they make made so much sense for the characters.
Yeah, I agree. So all in all, I liked it.
I had a great time.
I don't think it was like perfect, and I don't think I liked it more than Get Out. But I would for sure say that whenever next Jordan Peele movie comes out, I'm excited to see it because he hasn't done me wrong yet.
Personally, I liked this more than Get Out because I felt like Get Out was just like they were making a social commentary as well, which is totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. They were making a social commentary as well as trying to give us a horror movie that you could relate to. And I didn't find it very relatable. I didn't find it very... I don't even know the right words for it, but it just its overall plot didn't connect with me in the way that I think that most people connected with it.
Well, as a minority, I would say that I felt very, I don't know. I'm just
Yeah. Well, that was kind of what it was saying. It was saying like, hey man, minorities are like sought after. They're like fucking prime. And it was making a kind of a statement about how we saw it as a racist movie, but in reality, it's like totally the opposite.
All the white people want to be black, essentially, right? You know,
which I thought was a really fun thing. But the plot behind it and the realistic parts of it just didn't feel right. Like, I don't know, some of the things that happened with characters didn't feel very genuine, which took me out of it a little bit. And I liked this movie more because it didn't take itself as seriously as Get Out did. So both of them fantastic movies, in my opinion. I'm really nitpicking when I say that.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know.
Something I heard about this was that like Jordan Peele was kind of disappointed with the way people felt about Get Out. He said something about like he wanted to make a horror movie, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people came out of it being like it wasn't like a quote unquote horror movie. Like it was like it's kind of horror and kind of this sort of more, you know, like this weird hybrid. People still liked it, but Jordan Peele was like, fuck, I wanted to make like a scary movie or whatever, you know? So his goal was to make, when he made Us, he said that he wanted to make like a legit bona fide horror movie.
Yeah.
I don't think he nailed it because
it would have been if they didn't put the plot elements in it. That's why that surrealist horror, if this is just something that happened,
that would have been fucking terrifying.
The whole concept of this is something that happens in the world and there's no way to control it, and this is just some fucking shit that went down. That would be fucking horrifying because it was an apocalyptic movie. But then the way that they tied it into it being a story device around one of the main characters and whatnot, it just felt like why'd you add that? It was so cool of being like everyone's fucked. This is scary.
I just think that he sought it out to make this a more true to horror movie, and it just missed the mark a little.
It was so there at the beginning, though.
Oh yeah, no, I was terrified at the beginning.
Yeah, the beginning was amazing, but and then halfway through, it changed tones and it changed what it was.
Still made it really enjoyable.
Like,
but no longer felt like a true horror story.
No.
Anyways, I'm excited to see whatever can go next, and I'm really excited to see the fucking Twilight Zone because that's coming out pretty soon too.
Little trailer at the beginning of that.
Yeah, you did that, and you also did something else this week.
And then that's essentially all that I remember before Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice came out. That's literally all I've been playing, and I started out like I was ready for it. I was fucking pumped. I was excited, and then it comes down to I only played it for a little bit the first night, and I was like, okay, this gameplay is interesting. Like, I'm having fun. I'm excited to see more. And then I played it just nonstop the next day, and it hooked me so goddamn hard. It's such a thrilling game. It's so smart. It really challenges you. I could not stop thinking about it today, and I'm very excited to play it later. I'm going to spoil a little part in it, but it's fine. You know, it's you know,
it's only a game. It's only
a game. There's a boss at the end of the second area that really subverted my, I guess, expectations of what this game was up until this point, because for the most part it's been like samurai and Japanese ass motherfuckers with big ass swords and some creepy boys and just some weird stuff here and there. You fight a bunch of monks and you fight these dead praying monks that like spit bugs out at you and stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, this area is pretty creepy. Some monkeys, some dogs, all this different kind of stuff going on. Some dudes that like, I guess this is the third area. I don't remember where the fuck it is in the game. Anyways, there are like these people on rooftops that are kind of like birds in a way, and they're super freaky, but they're just covered in like feathers and hay and stuff. And then you get to the end of the area with all the monks, and it's been pretty unique. You go and ring a bell, and it teleports you to this like illusion world, and you're in like a spirit realm essentially. And then it gets super Japanese with all of these monkeys. There are 3 monkeys on some, I don't know.
Oh, we call it like dividers. It's like those changing divider things. You know, you see them. They kind of look like like doors, but they but they fold into each other like a harmonica, right?
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about.
They're like little privacy curtain type things, but they're made out of wood. And
I'll find out what they're actually called.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? Don't I remember their names? Anyway, so there are some monkeys that are on that, and it turns out that this boss is a puzzle, and you have to go and find the monkeys. It just felt so inherently Japanese in my favorite way. It reminded me of Avatar more than anything, where Aang goes into the spirit realm, and then he chases around a monkey, and he finds the faceless centipede creature man thing that steals everyone's faces. It reminded me so much of that, of just the fantasy behind it. And all these monkeys, they're like, one of them's wearing glasses. The other one has like a big old thing over its head to keep itself blind and invisible. And I really liked the idea of it. It just felt like such a refreshing change of pace. And the game is constantly challenging me and subverting all of my expectations of different fights. But this is the part that really got me, where everything leading up to there did not lead me to expect a weird puzzle boss fight of the area. And god damn it, I am thrilled with this Japanese ass world.
They just call it groom dividers.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, that's all I could find,
honestly.
honestly.
They're like privacy curtains or something like that. Cool. I don't remember the name of it.
I'm super excited you liking this game. I watched you fight this weird monkey thing with that.
Big spoilers. You probably shouldn't say anything about that.
This big monkey thing had no... just like spoil it.
Well.
He fought this big monkey thing, and it was really scary. And as an animator, I'll tell you what, those fucking tells, pretty spot on.
Yeah, they were really good. It's really cool being able to see those subtle movements that's essentially the whole game, is seeing all these subtle movements into the series of actions that the different enemies are going to do. Really cool to see that. And I think that they had such cool animations with that boss in particular. It's a treat all around.
I think maybe that's why I'm so bad at video games, because I was watching you play and I was like, fucking trips. Like, I mean, you were grinding, at this one specific, like, is it like a mini boss thing?
I mean,
he kind of, like it was like when you were fighting the fucking Munkos or whatever.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw you just like, it was like, it wasn't like a quick thing, go in and just slash the villain.
Okay. No, I was being patient and watching.
It was a lot of patience, a lot of waiting. And I was just like, in my head, I was like, fuck, that's so much work. And then on top of that, you'd have to like also try to figure out what the tells were, And after a while, after seeing you play, it's like, oh, I see the pattern too. But before that, if I would have been playing that, I was like, I would have been like, oh, dead.
Yeah, no. Dead again. Fortunately, at that point, I had learned with those kinds of enemies that you have to be really patient and calm. Kyle handled it in a very different way. He had something that I didn't decide to get at that point. I got it afterwards, and apparently it really helped out with the fight. But I just think it's so interesting, too, that there are different ways to handle it. And the way that I chose to handle it definitely worked for me. It was a matter of patience, which I'm not very patient when it comes to these things. I'm like, oh, there's a guy. I'm going to go fight the fuck out of him. But this one was a little bit more like, well, let's hang out. Let's chill for about 20 minutes fighting this guy, not dying. Oh, so satisfying when you finish a fight without dying for the first time.
For sure. Speaking of Kyle. Hey, Kyle's mom. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Karen? Yeah, so I went to brunch with Kyle and his mom, Karen. For those of you that don't know Kyle, he's a buddy of ours. He reviews trash anime. That's what we call it. It's in reality, it's just like what we find to be one of the least appealing shows, if not the least appealing show of the season. So anyways, I went to brunch with Kyle and his mom, and that was a good ass time. It was nice because I haven't talked to Karen in a long time. And I don't know. I always really enjoy catching up with people's parents that I haven't seen since like a few years.
Anyways, apparently she's going to start listening to the podcast. So what up, Karen?
Big what up to Karen.
What it do?
This is the podcast.
Smash that like button, Karen. Hope you're enjoying Hawaii. Anyways,
but yeah, man,
I thought that was super funny.
That's really all that I think I remember from this week, other than anime.
Okay, speaking of anime, I can't believe I forgot this one thing about the GDC. So for the mixer, one of the mixers, we were looking around. Well, me and my group of friends showed up together, and we were just kind of scoping things out, whatever. Yeah. And then some guy comes up to us from Australia, really hot dude named Mike. Hey, what up, Mike? He starts talking to us. And he's like, kind of just like vibing and telling us what he does. Yeah. And then he goes, hey, you guys are going to break up at some point and start like meeting people individually. I go, absolutely. You just gotta, you were just trying to chill for a bit. We're trying to like scope everything out. Anyways, that being said, I see this homie with the shirt, a black shirt, and the back of it just says anime. And I go, fucking, that's the guy.
All right, guys, see you later. I'm going to anime.
I was like, that's the guy I want to talk to. So I've been like, I was checking him out, and then like I was like, he somehow ended up on the second floor, like on the balcony. I was just like, okay, I'm about to go make my move. So I go get a drink. I get like soda water or whatever, and then like I go up the stairs, and he's on the corner of the bar, and I saunter up to him, and I go, I shit you not, this is what I say to him. I go, hey man, I've been looking for you all night. And he goes, is that right? He goes like, yep. And I drink my drink, and he goes, yeah, man, I think you got the wrong guy. I was like, nope, I got the right guy for sure. He's just like, looks at me like,
you're the worst.
He goes, hey man, I don't know what you did. Like, no man, it's because of your shirt. And the front of his shirt had a little trigger logo. I was like, yeah, your back of your shirt says anime, and like in your front says trigger. Like, that's fucking dope. I was like, check out my shit. Like, I pull up my shirt, and it's like the kiss him now.
Yeah.
No. At that point, that day I was wearing.
Oh shit!
That day I was wearing the
Mob.
No, Darling in the Franxx. So I was like, look, trigger, okay. Fucking trigger. He goes, oh, that's super cool. And he just kind of stops, and I go, so,
all right, see you, man.
No. I wanted to talk to him. So I go, so what do you do? What brings you to the game developers conference? And he goes, oh, I don't make games. I'm just with her. And so then like some girl pops out from behind him, and he goes like, yeah. And I go, oh, hey, like, nice to meet you. She goes, I'm like, so you're in the game developer.
You're the gamer girl.
And he goes, yeah. I'm just her bodyguard or whatever. I go, cool. So I want to talk to you. And then this homie fucking flipped. He was just like being super aggressive and like not letting me talk to his girl. I was like, okay, fine. And then some other guy showed up who was like friends of both of them. They were from New Jersey, by the way.
Okay.
And he started talking to me, and then we all started talking together as a group. But for some reason, this guy who was there to I don't know if it was a significant other or like a boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, wife. I don't know what the deal was, but he was just kind of like monopolizing her time and like making her sit far away. So it's kind of like, wow, you're being really shitty right now. Like, you came all the way here with this girl to protect her, but you're like not even letting her talk to people. But anyways, I thought that was super funny that this guy's like, yeah, I think you got the wrong guy.
Sauntered up to the wrong fellow.
Yeah.
Brother.
Fucking hate on him so fucking hard. Anyways, let's go with the anime, man.
Listen, dude, I'm going to be real with you.
You haven't watched any anime?
I've been watching as much anime as I could get. Okay. And by that, I mean, like, the shows that are airing, I haven't been watching old shit, really. Yeah. So, anyways, stuff this week is all about fights. And when I say that, I mean last week is all about fights. Because I don't know what just aired today. I haven't watched that shit yet. I don't watch anything. Let's just put it that way. Okay, I'm going to start out with a little show called That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. We're done with the main show. We're spinning off. Baby, we got fights. So we got a little bit of backstory on What's-Her-Face. I'm going to call her What's-Her-Face because I don't remember her name, but she was the really nice lady that was possessed by like a fire demon or some shit that our boy Slime saw and wound up eating it. So Rimuru forms past person in the fantasy world because she was a girl from Japan or whatever. Yeah. So it shows her and she's like with a group of adventurers and whatnot. And she's been called there by the king essentially. And they're like, hey guys, they're demons. We got to fucking kill them. They're infiltrating us. Mm-hmm. So then it starts this big old ruckus. And essentially the idea was they wanted to do a bunch of finger pointing and get all the adventurers to start pointing fingers at each other. And then one guy's getting extra rowdy and all the guards are like, hey, no, shut the fuck up. Don't do this. And all the adventurers are like, be cool to him, man. What the fuck are you doing? And they kill him. Turns out he was a demon. So they did like a big exercising right then. They're like, hang on, there's a fucking reason. Watch this shit. And then he turned into a demon. They exercised him, all that. And then we were like, oh shit. So we don't know who's a demon around here. Could be you. Could be me. Who fucking knows? And long story short, she was just like, yo, fuck all this shit. I'm not dealing with that. Peace. Nice. And then big boy demon, like super fucking demon boy, is just like, all right, so I'm here. I'm a demon. Fuck you guys. She's like, oh yeah, never mind. I'm fucking with him. They have a big ass fight. It gets super intense. She winds up hurting him. I think what happened is he has like big old claw hand thing, tries to smash her face with it, and like part of his arm gets blown off because she was wearing her mask that she always wears. That's apparently like a timeless mask. It's like an infinity mask is what they called it. So it has some super protection and special attributes and stats and whatnot that completely fuck with other people. So blew him the fuck up. He was like, peace out. And then she goes on further to find out that, oh, actually all of royalty is corrupted by demons, and that guy's the big demon lord. And it turns out that this other demon that was summoned here for like a dark magical purpose through like a blood ritual at the beginning of the episode, turns out that he is actually a good boy who's trying to fight this bad demon for some people that were like the top adventurers that got killed. And it wound up being a super cool fight, which is surprising since I haven't been enjoying slime this last season. So when they were like, let's just do some really cool shit, they did some really cool shit with this episode. Yeah. Definitely a cool spin-off episode. So I'm excited to see this next episode that aired today is the finale of the season. And it's going to be another spin-off type thing. Yeah. So,
you and I have talked about it. I've been kind of...
You dropped off.
I've been like putting slime off as much as I could. And then Sierra and I finally talked. And we're like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't want to do it no more. So I'm pretty off slime. Yeah. Which is fine. It's just, my call. At some point, you just got to, realize...
You know what? Yeah. It's not doing it for me. Yeah. I don't need to waste my time with it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool, though. I'm glad you're enjoying your weird spin-off things.
Yeah. No, that was really good. Overall... We'll talk about slime in our wrap-up episode, which is going to be pretty soon here. And then going on to Mob Psycho 100, another solid show. And when I say another, I mean like this week's episode was another solid show. Because slime overall, I wouldn't call it a solid show. It's got amazing sound design, but I don't think solid is the right word. Anyways, Mob Psycho 100 this week was all about fights. And holy shit, the fights were great. Because, we got into the part where it's getting into, like, the thick of the plot of the season of, we've got all these psychic people, and now let's fucking take over the city. So, Mob's whole crew is doing some big heckin' fights while Mob's been passed out and shit. Well, Mob's back, and he's trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. So when he gets there, he realizes that, oh shit, I ain't gonna fuck around. All these motherfuckers are ruining everything. They're so disrespectful and such not good people. He can't handle that. So he goes and starts turbo blasting people along with the rest of his crew. And this episode, they were fighting a man who had teleportation psychic abilities. And he could also predict what people were going to do. Yeah. And seeing him go full throttle was so cool. Yeah. It was amazing just seeing the way that they could use teleportation in a fight scene in such a natural feeling, really smooth way was great.
Yeah, it was like 8 or 9 people on fighting one guy.
Yeah.
And this guy was just kicking ass.
Yeah.
And then like near the end, they turned the tables on him and, for like a bit. And then he's like, fuck this. And he just fucks them all up.
Yeah, he goes full turbo.
It was fucking and then Mob shows up and he goes...
Well, what happens is Mob's approaching. He's like, somebody insanely powerful is coming. Oh, God, this is going to be bad. Like, I wonder what kind of a being this would be. Oh, somebody's so strong. And then Reagan punches him in the face and just says, like, self-defense punches.
Yeah, starts punching the shit out.
So good.
He's like, oh, fucking even sense that guy coming. He's like, is he so strong he can hide his fucking powers?
It's just the classic Reagan move. I goddamn love it. It's so funny.
And then he gets like a glimpse of Mob and then he just like quits. Like Mob's gonna like fuck his shit up and he's just like, oh, and he,
no.
He like, runs away, which is super dope. Just it goes to show you how strong Mob is and like
I love it.
How people do really fear him because he can really wreck shop if he has to. I mean, he's a good person, so luckily people don't have to worry about that too often. So the next episode I guess airs today, which we haven't watched, but from the trailers it looks like there's gonna be some fucking more fucking Esper fighting. And look like Mob's going to fight a homie that's just as powerful as him.
Yeah.
He got the same holographic thing around him. So, yeah, I'm super stoked for Mob Psycho.
God, it's going to be so fun. So I'm loving that show. Honestly, every episode is a treat of animation. It's just so unique. I love it. Going on to Shield Hero. I really liked this last episode. They were doing a bit a bit of fighting. I don't know if there's a theme to this or not, but I feel like, it's going on. So we're back at the second wave of demons that are attacking the towns. And now Shield Hero has a small little crew that he could count on to protect parts of the towns and fight big bads. And then he teams up with the rest of the heroes. So you got the sword hero, the spear hero, and the bow hero. And they're all doing their fights and they're doing okay, but they clearly need some extra help. So Shield Hero gets up there, and as these enemies that are being fought keep like getting resurrected, he scans them immediately. It's just like, oh yeah, that's not okay. I should do a scan on these guys and make sure I know what's going on. And then he realizes immediately, hey, go attack that shadow because this fucker is not actually the one that's being bad. And I love how quickly they show, like, these other characters are trying to address it in their way. And he comes in and he's just like, well, I can't fight. So instead I'm going to think.
Yeah, let me use my brain. It goes to show you how, I don't know, how fucking ill-prepared they are. They really think, like, they really do think,
they're hot shit.
They also really do think in the terms of a video game. There's like, we had to do this to activate this next thing. And this guy, I mean, the Shield Hero also does kind of consider it like a video game, but he's also just like not a fucking idiot. And, he's like, the way you win is teamwork, whatever. And he's like, he puts, fucking Philo and I don't know, something with the R.
Raftelia?
Yeah, to work, and like, he's like, because he knows his limitations and he knows what he can do. He's smart, he's a tactician. But these other fucking idiots are just like, I don't know what's going on here. I'm just going to keep fighting this fucking dumbass dead pirate for 3 hours and maybe something will happen. God, that was so frustrating. But I do like that because it does show that our hero is just not a fucking fool.
Yeah, and they had such a cool fight. He goes into rage mode, and then Philo goes into rage mode too. He summons an Iron Maiden. It was fucking crazy. It got intense. I was into it. It was a great episode.
Very intense, yeah. And then like it ends with the real bad guy showing up and being like, "You guys ready to fucking fight?" And I was like, "Oh fuck, I thought we were fighting. Like, I guess we're not ready yet."
So
bro.
I'm really excited about this next episode. I think the Shield Hero is 2-core. Is that right?
If I had to guess, yeah.
I think Shield Hero is 2-core, and I think that Dororo is 2-core. So moving on to The Promised Neverland, we are almost done. We are at a this. I think the next episode is going to be the climax, but this episode definitely felt like it was the climax because we got to see a lot of the plans that were laid out months in advance that we didn't know about. Only a couple of characters really knew about it that there's been focus on. And we learned just more about the story. I don't want to spoil much, but the intro has a lot of things that have been teasing this moment for a while. There have just been little subtle things that you could kind of see that are going on in the background of scenes. It's so much fun as an as a manga reader to watch the anime and see all these little things that they've put in that I don't remember if they were in the manga or not because I didn't know what was going on at that point. But it's such a treat seeing it all animated and seeing this whole section, which is one of the most intense sections of the manga. Seeing it animated in such a beautiful and intense, suspenseful way. And of course, there's just nonstop twists and turns.
Yeah.
And oh, fuck. It's fun to see shit going the way that it's supposed to go.
Is there one more?
There's one more episode.
Yeah.
There might be two, but I'm pretty sure there's just one more. And I honestly have no idea how they're going to end it.
Yeah, this last episode really fucking took me aback. Because again, never read the manga. I haven't even had the inkling to check it out because I just want to be surprised by the anime. And
I'm glad
this
you are.
episode really fucking got me. Like, there's times where it's like, that makes sense. But this episode was like, holy shit, fucking brutal. And the way the episode ends, I was like, oh my God, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
That's the face of evil, is what I thought.
Everyone has been talking shit about Phil. Just like, oh man, he's up to something. He is fucking evil. I don't know what's going on with Phil. And now they're like, yeah, the main character's here. The main character's finally taking a focus because he's there at the end of the episode. And honestly, at the end of this episode, he looks a little bit less
menacing.
No. Okay, so in the manga, he's just cheery as fuck in this scene.
Yeah.
And then Mom's face is just horrified, right? And it was such a fun juxtaposition of like, oh, super happy, terror.
Mom's here. And he goes, what the fuck are you doing here?
Everything changes right there. And then in this, I felt like Phil was like less happy and a little bit more like, hey, Mom.
Yeah, I get what you're
Instead
saying.
of just like, Mom. Yeah. I don't know. not something I'm complaining about, but it's just something that I think is
sounds like a complaint to me.
No. I just think it makes it so much better for all of the people that are like, Phil's pure evil.
Phil is
instead
pure
of
evil.
just like in the manga where people were still talking about that as the series was coming out, like each little chapter or whatever. They were just like, what the fuck is Phil up to? It's an ongoing thing.
I don't trust him, Trip.
That's totally fair. At this point,
you don't trust him either.
I don't know what Phil's up to. Let's just put it that way. I have no fucking clue what Phil's up to.
Nice.
But man, it's a thrilling show. And it's one of those shows that I feel like somebody who doesn't watch anime, if you're trying to get somebody into anime, this is a fantastic show to be like, hey, check it out. There's some anime shit in it, but for the most part, it's just a suspenseful, thrilling, psychological...
I feel like the tropes are pretty low, man.
Oh, no. I just mean in terms of like, hey, demons, man.
Oh,
and
I get
also,
what you're saying, yeah.
The sister coming in with the crazy ass puppet.
Yeah.
There's some things that are a little bit like, whereas like Erased, fantastic. It's got none of that shit.
I get what you're saying.
Erased is just a pure
fucking
American. Animated, it's just that shit that a lot of people can relate to in an easier way than The Promised Neverland, which is more of a, if you like crime shows or if you like
mysteries,
anything about murder and whatnot, if you watch murder documentaries about serial killers, you're going to be into this shit because those are always done with like, and here's some crazier shit and here's even crazier shit, and people like that. And this has that right tone of like being really dark without it being super morbid in a lot of ways. They're doing a good job. I also really like how, now that we're almost done with this season, do you remember the last time that we saw a demon?
Yeah, that was.
It was in like episode 4.
Yeah, where like sister gets killed or whatever.
Spoilers. I mean, it's spoilers, big spoilers. Well, I mean, you only see that for like a second though.
Well, we saw it though.
I mean, that's true, but like there hasn't been more of a focus. There was a focus in episode 1 and a focus in episode like 4 or whatever. And other than that, it just showed like demon for like half a second with the sister thing, which I thought was. I think it's really cool how they're not putting a focus on it, because reading the manga, it's just like a little shot in between chapters or whatever to remind you, hey, there's still around.
Demons out here, yeah.
But in this show, they're not doing that, and I kind of like that because it makes it like, at first Kyle was worried that he was just like, oh yeah, I don't know, if they keep showing the demons, I know too much about them, and like I don't want to know more about their world. I'm like, don't worry, you're fine, don't worry about it. And I'm glad that they pulled back after that scene of like, oh, dinner. I like dinner.
That was a strange scene. Yeah, you're saying. All right, what else do you watch?
Finally, Dororo. So this episode picks up immediately after the last one of Dororo meeting his brother after killing the big old crab demon thing. And it goes a little bit more into... This episode, I think, was boring. Okay. I think that's what it came down to. Not a whole lot happened, but it was also intriguing to see them interact. And essentially... When I say Dororo, I meant Hyakumaru.
No, we know what you meant.
I know.
The titular character, Dororo.
Yeah. So Hyakumaru meets his brother, which is, I'm not even going to try to remember his name right now. And they kind of talk about like what he's doing here and like where he needs help or whatever. He's like, yeah, man, like my family pretty much owns this land. It's really lush and everything because of my family, but there have been some issues arising, so we're trying to like figure out what's going on with that. And he's just like, cool, I'm gonna go kill some fucking demons. And then actual Dororo, little kid Dororo, is just like, yeah, we're demon hunters, we fight giant monsters and we're really fucking good at it. And then Hyakumaru's brother is just like, holy shit, these fucking motherfuckers aren't fucking around. Yeah, they just came in, sliced that demon with one hit, and it was dunzo bunzo.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're definitely at a point where they're trying to focus more on plot versus like episodic plot, which I feel like Dororo is really shining with some episodic plot. So I'm hoping that this ongoing thing that they're starting to address is handled in a way that's intriguing to me.
Cool. I think the only show that I watched that you didn't watch is Runny Boys, which is Run with the Wind.
Hell yeah.
I want to say there's one more episode left. That's what I want to say. It might be 2. But I think they're nearing like the last part of the race. I think there's 2 more legs left, and the character who begrudgingly joined the team originally because he was stealing some food or whatever.
Yeah.
Who was a runner who quit. He's currently starting his part of the race, I feel like. And he's going to try his hardest. And I'm pretty sure he's going to have some sort of, I don't know, character revelation throughout his run. Because for those last few episodes, every character who has had a run has some sort of like growing realization of who they are, or what they want to be, or like what they need to change or something or whatever, you know. Like,
how would you feel if they were just like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck I want to be. I'm just running because that's where I'm at right now. Whatever.
I think one of them was like that. Like the character, what's his fucking name? His name was they call him Nico-san because he's short for nicotine because he smokes.
Yeah.
And essentially the guy told him to run because they've all been giving like advice by the captain, and his advice for him was like, hey man, try to run a kilometer at 3 minutes at a 3-minute pace, and you know, run the way your heart wants to run or whatever, some shit like that. And so this guy's been running, and the whole time he's running, he's just like, yeah, fuck it, I like running. It's not bad. You know? All right. He's just like,
it's settled.
He wanted to be like a long distance runner when he was in middle school or high school. Yeah. And then like his coach goes, hey man, your body type's not right. You're too big. Maybe you should throw. And he goes, no, I want to run. He's like, well, then maybe you should quit. And so,
yeah.
And so then he just started smoking heavily, and like he's a programmer, like his character does that. And he goes, so he kind of lost that passion, and I guess he did have a revelation. His revelation then was, I love running or whatever.
Okay, so he just turns out that he likes it. So.
He's like, I love running. It's not like it's going to come to anything because almost all of them are like, a few of them are graduating. Some of them are just like, some of them have actively said, I am not going to run after this like year or whatever. Yeah. Like, I'm done. And then some of them are like, I'm going to fucking keep running for the rest of my life.
I mean, running isn't like the entire focus of their lives.
No.
But so for this guy, he's going to go on, he's going to do programming, and he's also going to run for a hobby.
This guy does program and like already, and he makes bank programming in college or whatever. Like he's having a good time. But like I'm saying, I think his character development of him being like, you know, I love running, and you know, I'm glad I was able to do this, even though I was stopped from doing this in the past.
Yeah, no, I love that. That instead of it being, because I mean, in high school or whatever, or junior high, whatever, people are growing up and finding the sports that they're good at or whatever. It's not like, be good at this so you could do it as a hobby. It's like, be good at this so you could do it as a career. And you could go to the Olympics and change lives and do sports and whatnot. And no, I really like the idea of like, hey, I love this. I'm going to keep doing my life. But now I know something else that I like.
Maybe I'll run every now and then. Yeah. So, like I said, one of the main characters right now, he just started the leg of his race, and like I said, I think he's gonna have some sort of revelation about how much he's cared, like learned about the team and cares about them, and he's realized that because running was kind of sullied for him with his last team. Like he had some people would resent him because he was really good, and other people like were getting like kicked off the team because of him, and his team essentially like made him feel like shit for being as good as he was. So I think he's
what the fuck kind of a plot device is that?
Yeah, right. Like there's
just like, hey, fuck you, you're too good.
Yeah.
Well, like, I mean, in one way.
Oh, he also beat the shit out of his coach.
Oh, well, did he have it coming? What was he wearing?
Oh, he was wearing a pink Gucci skirt or whatever.
He totally had it coming.
I think the coach was like talking down to like another person, and
he was like, you treat everyone well.
I think he was like,
motherfucker. I think he was,
I think he was like saying some shit like, you're injured, you're never gonna be shit, you're garbage essentially. And this character lost it. He snapped. He's like, how dare you talk to someone like that or whatever. Like,
that's my friend.
I mean, not even like that. He was just upset that like
that's a human.
Yeah. He also gets like, he would be given like special treatment or whatever. Like at one point they were done with the race, and then the coach goes, all of you guys, it's shit except for you. You're the best. Everybody, we're running back to campus. Oh, you don't have to run. You go catch the bus or whatever. And they're all just like looking at him, resenting him, being like, "What the fuck? This is your fault or whatever." It's like, fucking run faster, assholes, or whatever, you know. Anyways, and then after that, I think it's gonna be the leader of the team or whatever. He has to run his leg of the race, and he is dealing with like a knee injury that he's had in the past and has prevented him from running professionally, like in college, till his last year of college. And he seemed to have hurt it in the last time he did a race, and his sports doctor saw him and has suggested maybe you shouldn't run anymore, you know? So I think this is his last time running.
Damn.
So something like that's going to happen. And I mean, I'm super stoked to see the end of this. I don't think there'll be another season. I don't don't think there should be. I bet you anything, if this is a manga, there probably is more to this story.
I'm sure that there would be.
Yeah, but I feel like this is a really good place for the show to end. And I'm really excited to...
I really like when shows just end. As much as I also want them to go on because I want more of that shit, I want a good conclusion to it. To just be like, cool, I found what I want to be passionate about in my own time. Doesn't need to be a career or anything, but I definitely want to keep running. I think that would be an awesome end.
I feel like this one is going to come to an end. I would be fucking flabbergasted if they got a second season. Or a third season. This is 2 core, so I guess...
Run with the Wind. It would have to be a second season.
Yeah. So I don't know. But that's all the anime I watched this week besides the stuff that you talked about.
Sweet. Then I want to talk about the news.
Let's do it.
Check it out. We're not going to talk about fun stuff right now, but we are going to talk about English voice actors. Okay. So they're canceling their appearances at different conventions, some different con panels due to sexual assault accusations about Vic Mignogna.
Mm-hmm. You know who this is?
He voiced Edward Elric.
Yeah.
And he also voiced Broly.
Yeah. That's the most recent one, yeah.
From Dragon Ball. So for those of you that don't really know about this issue, Kameha-con, I think that's what it was called.
It's a con specifically for Dragon Ball Z.
There were a few voice actresses that were going to attend this, and they canceled and are very vocal about this and said something about him in the past having like grabbed them by the hair and like got really close to their ear and said some creepy shit to them and like kissed them. Not willingly. This is just something that he did to them. And there are multiple people that have said, he's done some creepy shit like that to me too. Yeah,
but this, like, these again,
now they're accusations, they're allegations.
There's no like nothing's been proven or settled or anything. It's just, this is what's been said about him. So this is weird because like we're always in that part where like we like to give blame to people or whatever and talk shit to people. If these things that he's done are true, that's really fucking shitty, and that really bums me out because I like him as a voice actor.
And benefit of the doubt, why would somebody do this?
Exactly.
He's not in a true position of power. He might have a couple of really good roles.
Yeah.
But why would somebody risk something like this to be such like a power hungry monster asshole?
I don't know, man. But I know that like the work that he's done in the past, I've been a fan of. Like, like I said, Edward Elric. He also is fucking the main character from Ouran High School Host Club.
Yeah, he's done a lot of shit.
He's been in the industry for a long time. And these accusations that have been coming up recently, date back for a long time now. Stuff like him, like, groping people or like forcing yourself on people, kissing them, making them feel uncomfortable, making advances, stuff like this. Again, all allegations. So nothing is set in stone. I really hope this isn't true.
I do too.
Which
for the sake of everyone.
Yeah, for the sake of everyone. I hope no one ever has to deal with something like that. But if it is true, fucking bad on him. I know this guy's already like gotten a lot of flack for this. Like, there's Funimation has cut ties with him.
Yeah,
fucking he got fired from Ruby. They cut ties. There's plenty of people who've already like just started like saying like, no, we're not going to deal with him.
We don't want any of that controversy.
Yeah, which is just understandable.
I totally get it, but also it's
kind of shitty.
It's a
not
hard
true.
thing.
Yeah. If it ends up not being true, super shitty. If it is, man, fuck him. That's fucking shitty.
I feel like these kinds of things should just immediately go to like, well, can we get like a lie detector test going on? Because like, if it were me and somebody was like, Chris sexually assaulted me, I'd be like, bull fucking shit, lie detector me right the fuck now.
Yeah.
Let's take care of this shit.
Yeah.
Or whatever you could possibly do in order to make it right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's come out and said anything like, hey, these are completely false and I'll do anything in my power to say that it's false and prove that.
That's just the issue with the kind of world we live in right now. It's hard to prove that you're telling the truth. There is no truth serum. Like, those things don't exist. There's no guaranteed lie detector that's going to work 100. There's like these, and a lot of those things don't hold up in court. It's a bunch. All of it's a bunch of madness. Anybody can accuse anybody of anything, and it's hard to defend yourself. So again, just right now we're just kind of in a fucking shitty situation. I do think that these people who are canceling their appearances, they have every right to. I just kind of feels bad that if they're canceling their things and say someone specifically wanted to go see them, man, that's kind of shitty. Like, if I specifically want to go see the voice actor for Bulma and she's like, I'm not going, I'm like, well, that's fucking loss on my end. Like, I don't get to see her no more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really support that view of things, because I think that even if these are totally unjust accusations or whatever, these people that are canceling, it's not because they were sexually assaulted personally. It's because the chance that something bad happened, they are showing support. They're showing, I mean, we don't support anything like this.
A couple of them did. The couple people that did cancel are ones that said, they do that to me. But some of them are also, they're just
in support,
which is also super cool.
I think that, you don't have to cancel, but the fact that they are canceling for that reason, it doesn't necessarily show fuck this guy in particular. Yeah. It shows we do not support this around
we need
to
change this.
Yeah, exactly. It's something that's big. That's like, if we let any of this happen, that's fucked up, and we can't do it.
Zero tolerance is the way it should be.
For this situation, but not all the time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No fucking no.
For these kinds of things.
For this, absolutely. So we're just going to keep an eye on this. If anything pops up about it, we'll talk about it. But as of now, it just this kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's just an all-around bummer that it happened in general, that it didn't happen, and there's some negative repercussions. There's lots of different influences. Anyhow, that's our controversial news for the day. We got
don't add us. We don't give a fuck.
Honestly, I would be like, all right, cool. Good to know more
fucking
stuff.
Lie detector us right now. We did not sexually assault you.
Well, I mean,
allegedly.
We didn't. I'm pretty sure one of us did.
But both of us didn't.
Definitely not both of us.
Yeah.
Long story short, ReZero. Everyone knows it. Everyone loves it. So much so that there's a second season that has been announced. We getting in there. Who are you? Are you Team Rim?
I don't know what any of that means.
All right.
Is that the blue-haired chick?
Yeah.
What's the other team?
I don't care. All
you know is Team Blue-haired chick.
I don't remember their names.
For people who don't know, we never watched this show. I watched an episode and I was like, I'll get back to this, and then it just got away from me.
You know what, man? I fucking suck. That's what it comes down to.
So cool. I know people are super stoked for this because people really like ReZero.
Good for literally everyone but me.
Yeah, so maybe
awesome.
Maybe we'll check this out. Yeah.
So check it out. Konosuba's movie has released a preview video. I'm not calling it a trailer because it's more of a promotional video than it is a trailer. It's like a teaser in a way, I guess. It shows like a little bit of stuff. So people that are into this shit, check that out. How have you not watched it already? It's amazing. Go watch it. It's fucking beautiful.
Enjoy it.
I don't know shit about Konosuba, so I'm lying to you right now. But I'm also telling the truth that there is a new preview video for the movie coming out. So check that shit. Hey, remember when I mentioned that an old show's getting a second season?
Yeah,
Yeah, we got a newer show getting a second season. Cells at Work. Their season 2 has been announced.
Nice.
You know what else is nice people are stoked about? Netflix.
I only know Netflix and chill.
Okay, well, Netflix is going to add Evangelion to its service worldwide.
Oh, did we not talk about this last week?
No, it didn't come out until like...
Oh, you and I talked about this already.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
I think it's super cool.
To talk about things. Yeah, June 21st, Evangelion. Maybe you'll get around to watching it for once.
I have watched it. I just haven't finished it.
I didn't say you.
Oh, I think you're talking about...
I said me.
Me. Okay,
maybe
good.
I'll get around.
That's super cool. I think it's great that Netflix picked it up. I don't know... I'd like to say that Evangelion isn't streaming anywhere currently right now.
I would also like to say that.
Anywhere legally,
I'm going to say that. Illegally, you could watch this, but legally, you're not allowed. You can't even buy the DVD. You can buy the DVDs.
Yeah, so it's super cool that Netflix picked this up just because it's, everybody has Netflix, it's readily available, and it has a huge following. So that's just positive for anime, essentially.
Hell yeah. Hey, man, you like Netflix?
Yeah.
Cool. I got some more great news for you. Netflix is announcing a new series of a beloved show. The Disastrous Life of Saiki K.
Oh,
it's getting a new Netflix series.
Why would you do that to me? This show sucks. Go fuck yourself, Saiki K. This show's such shit.
Listen, man, it's a comedy show that a lot of people really, really like. Between its lackluster animation or lack of animation, it really didn't do it. It hit me in all the wrong ways.
We've talked about the show before. If you like this and you're excited for this, I mean...
Good for you.
Congratulations. Yeah, we're happy for you because we always like the fact that people get what they want, right?
Man, yeah, no, people should be happy. People should be enjoying everything that they possibly can. And this does not let me enjoy things, so I enjoy not watching it.
So if our disgust upsets you in any way, let it go. We just don't like it.
It ain't for me, man. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Give me second season of fucking Violet Evergarden, homie.
I don't know. I kind of just like it where it was... Well, I don't like where it was left. But I kind of just like the amount that we saw up until the last,
until the OVA.
10 seconds of the show. The OVA was fine. If that was in the show, it would be great. But I think the OVA convinced me that I don't want a second season.
You see how much we dislike Saiki K? We dislike Saiki K so much, we geared the conversation to Violet Evergarden.
That's pretty true. But that last 10 seconds of the show, I just... So
ruins the whole thing.
Shirobako, you know it. You love it.
I know it.
Do you love it?
I love it.
Good. Because there's going to be a movie coming up. We've talked about this, I think.
Maybe.
So the movie's coming out, and it's been confirmed that it takes 5 years. It takes place 5 years after the original TV series.
Nice.
Which I think is kind of cool that they're like, hey, 5-year time jump. Let's see where they're at now. So...
yeah. I was talking to my buddy Tim about this recently. I saw him at his new place, and he was talking about how like he left for the military for 6 years, and he came back and he's like talking to his relatives and stuff who are still in town, and he's like, dude, it feels like an anime time jump. It feels like, you know, like I've been gone for 6 years and now they're in a different place in their lives, and like, but I have stayed the same. I go, yeah, man, that's fucking scary. He goes like, it fucking is, and he takes a huge bong rip.
Yeah, I fucking hate everything. That's hey, High Score Girl. You remember that shit? Well, High Score Girl 2, the sequel anime, has been announced. So check that shit out. Some people fucking loved this show. Other people didn't give a honk about it.
I'm pretty excited. I like the show.
I'm pretty honkless, but you know that we're gonna watch it. Maybe I'll start honking.
All right.
You all know what I mean. So anyways, speaking of second things, like we have been the rest of this news sesh, a second My Hero Academia film has been announced for winter.
We're gonna watch this, obviously. Well, you and I kind of feel the same way about it, where we know there's no real
I'm watching it. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, there's no real weight to it. It's essentially a throwaway episode that lasts 2 hours long.
Oh man, what if they like killed off a character in this though? That would
I don't think they would do it, man. They would introduce a character and kill that character off.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
But they wouldn't kill, like, if, like, imagine not seeing this movie and coming back like, oh yeah, fucking Todoroki, fucking dead.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Fucking dead.
Anyways, so we were both thinking Todoroki. He's definitely dying in this upcoming movie, so go and watch it.
You heard it here first.
Todoroki dies in My Hero Academia's second movie.
Okay, please don't tell people.
Speaking of death, all these stupid ass segues. Speaking of blah.
That's a good segue.
Yeah, anyways. Goblin Slayer is going to have a new episode titled Goblin's Crown, which will be screening in Japanese theaters. Pretty whack. New episode, movies. Who even does that?
I mean, we're not going to be in Japanese theaters, so...
You're not going to be, but this bitch.
Nice.
This one right here.
Nice.
Is going to the Nihon.
Nice. Hey. Yeah.
You like food?
Love food.
What kind of food? Sushi?
Sushi's good.
What's your favorite roll? Crunchyroll? Because they're increasing their monthly price as of May 1st, 2019.
Why would you fuck with me like that?
I don't know.
How much?
It's only a little bit. So essentially, if you have an annual subscription, it's going up $20. If you don't, then it's going up like $2 or something. It's a 33% increase.
I'm not sure what I have. I'm assuming I have an annual subscription.
Listen, man, the emails got blasted out. But yeah, May 1st, 2019, it is definitely the time for increases. I know, because that's all I'm doing at work. Increasing rent. It sucks. People are pissed.
Oh, well.
That's all the news that I have for today. So I want to talk to you about a quiet little film called Liz and the Blue Bird.
Okay, so right off the bat, I would like to very candidly say my situation with Liz and Bluebird.
Yeah.
I fell asleep for most of it.
Whoa. I was trying to keep you awake as much as I could.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and I also appreciate you not being mad with me.
Oh, you know, it happens. I was having such a good time with the movie.
I know, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Perspectives. I was loving the goddamn movie. Juan thought it was a beautiful little treat that he could fall asleep to, and that's okay. Well, everyone treats their life differently, and when you're tired, sometimes you can't watch something that you would normally like.
Yeah, I was still pretty tired from my trip, and I don't know, man. It was very soothing, and your bed was nice, and I mean your bed.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know how I live, I bought a couch that's essentially you could Lego it together in any shape or size that you want. So I have a bed section of my couch and a long ass sitting section.
I was on the bed section.
Yeah, and you were crunching that sleep.
Yeah, so So that being said, I will try my best to review from what I remember. But this is for sure heavy you time, dog.
All right, so me time it is. The studio that made it is Kyoto Animation. They make fucking beautiful works like Surune, which is their most recent TV show, Violet Evergarden, which is the most recent anime of the year, and A Silent Voice, which is the most recent movie that I fell in love with. Mm-hmm. It was directed by Naoko Yamada, who made things like K-On!, Tomako Market / Love Story, and A Silent Voice. Track record for Naoko is I fucking love everything she does.
Yeah, she's a fucking beast. Watch out, fucking Hayao Miyazaki.
Naoko's coming for you.
Yeah, she's gonna fuck you up. Is she a girl?
Yeah.
She's gonna fuck you up.
Oh, she's great. And then the music director, Kinsuke Ushio, has made some things that you may have heard of, like Space Dandy, Ping Pong.
Oh, yeah.
A Silent Voice.
Okay.
Devilman Crybaby. Ooh. Liz and the Bluebird, of course. And Boogie Pop.
Ooh, these are all really good things.
Honestly,
except for Boogie Pop. Go fuck yourself, Boogie Pop.
But what part of Boogie Pop don't you like? It doesn't have to do with the music. I could tell you that much.
For sure, yeah.
Because the music was one of the things that actually got me into it. I was like, oh, man, this is very atmospheric.
Sorry, I was just saying as a whole.
No,
Boogie Pop can go fuck itself.
Truth.
But yeah, the soundtrack was fucking pretty hype.
It was pretty good. So yeah, he's done just all different kinds of really good work.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy to me because, for us, we don't really fucking know about any of the sound shit that goes into a lot of our TV shows that we watch and whatnot.
Yeah.
What was that? What are we doing? Okay. So anyways, this whole thing, the reason that I think the music director is really important to bring up in this is we talked about this at our Anime Expo episode about this. Kyle and I got to see the premiere of it at Anime Expo, and they brought the director and the music director to come up and talk about stuff. So the music director, Kinsuke, he essentially was saying that he wanted to make a more, I don't really know how to put it, minimalist, I guess, soundtrack. So there's constantly music going on, but it's very, very subtle just throughout the film. And I think that they did such a beautiful job with it because they also focus a lot on the actual musical piece, Liz and the Bluebird, that the band is playing. And they have some pretty loud moments of concert band music that plays from time to time. And that's not something that Kinsuke did. He did all the music in between that, all the music in the scenes where they're talking and discussing stuff, all the music that's there in the background that really gives you this this environment of I don't know, it makes you relate to the characters in a different way, I feel, than if there was just like regular ass music playing in the background. This was definitely more formed around what the characters are doing and the conversations that they're having go along with the music. It was just such a unique feel to it. And then you could look at something else like A Silent Voice that he worked on with the same director. And they worked on that together and they joined this project together because they felt like they made a great team. And A Silent Voice had such an amazing soundtrack and such amazing scores. It's something that people do talk about when they bring up A Silent Voice, is that despite it being about a girl who's deaf, the music's outstanding. It's a lot of piano pieces in A Silent Voice. In Liz and the Bluebird, they have all different instruments because they were trying to give that feeling of this is a concert band and these are some of the instruments from it. And just really, really, really different music direction than the rest of, I feel like, the anime movies that we've been talking about and watching recently. So anyhow, all of this is a preface to talking about the plot. This is a spin-off of Sound Euphonium, which is it's another show by Kyoto Animation. The director of Liz and the Bluebird worked on 2 episods. She directed 2 episodes of Sound Euphonium. There are 2 seasons of it. There are a lot of episodes out there. For those of you that do want to watch it, you do not need to watch Sound Euphonium. This is a spin-off about a couple of characters that don't have too much of a focus on. It's entirely about their relationship. And while there might be a little bit of focus on them, it never really goes into too much depth because they're not the main characters. They don't really have much focus in that story. And we get to see this is a new story about these side characters, wherein the main characters of the show Sound Euphonium are in about 3 scenes, I think. There's one scene at the beginning where they come in and they're just kind of chatting and talking for a second. And by that, I mean, they have like one line during that. And then they show up a little bit later, just kind of around. And then they're playing music where they play music in the show, just practicing outside in this little dark corner of the building. And that's the entire focus of the main characters from the show in this movie. And I think that it's so cool to do a spin-off of a show where you don't actually need to see what's going on. And we could look at another thing like Tamako Market and Tamako Love Story. Sure, you could watch Tamako Love Story without watching Tamako Market, but it wouldn't have the same impact at all. And I feel like Liz and the Bluebird, you don't have any reason to see Sound Euphonium in order to appreciate this movie the same. Like, you don't have to see it whatsoever, and you'll appreciate it the same, with subtle nods to, you know, this is what happens in the show, and these are the characters. And if you know all of that, they're hardly repeating anything that would have been repeated, like, in the show from the movie. It's all new stuff. It all feels fresh, with giving you a little bit of context for certain things that show emotion behind characters and their decisions. So, the movie. Liz and the Bluebird is about these 2 characters that have different personalities that really connect with each other. They do love each other, but it's not necessarily in a romantic way, but it's definitely in a way that means they mean something more to each other for different reasons. And this movie is an exploration of the reasons why they care about each other. And more so, this movie is about introspection and figuring out what you want to do with your life. Both characters are at the point where they have to fill out these surveys of like, hey, where are you going to go to college? What are your goals? Like, what are you going to do? It's something that we've seen in other animes. And students always have to fill out these sheets and turn them in, and they have teachers talk to them about their choices and what are some good options out there for them. And our characters are at a point where they're working really hard on a solo together for the song Liz and the Bluebird, based off of the book Liz and the Bluebird, which is a German story. It's a storybook for, I don't really know if it's aimed at kids or not, about a woman, Liz, who lives in this little cottage, works at a bread shop, goes out in the forest and feeds the animals, and a bluebird follows her home, turns into a girl, and then starts living there with her until Liz realizes she goes away every night. You know, she can't just be kept in this house. I have to let her go. I have to tell her that she can't be here because she has bigger and better things that she could do out there for herself. Because clearly she's not happy just being at this home. She wants to go out, but she can't be fully happy with me, even though she is happy with me. And she can move on and find something else that she cares about in this world if she gets out there. That's essentially the plot of Liz and the Bluebird, the book. Liz and the Bluebird, the movie, it tries to tie those personalities in with our 2 main characters. And it does it in a really subtle, slow, but careful and particular way that I think is handled better than I've seen in any of these other, like, figuring out who you are kind of things. Because I feel like for the most part, it's pretty ham-fisted. It's just like, hey, check it out. Here's a big situation. However you come out of this situation is going to teach you about who you are. But this is more so, here's a piece of music. You guys have a solo together. It's really important they focus on it and do well. And then throughout it, they're kind of talking about the story and what drives each character in the story to do what they do and make those choices until they finally figure out, like, what exactly each little part means. And then they relate to those characters in the way that they need to for their music. And it's a really, really careful, slow, beautiful story. Honestly, watching this movie a second time made me appreciate it more than the first, because it was so impactful with the way that they treated each conversation. Even though not much was said in the conversations, I feel like they carried so much weight, and they were so, I guess, insightful to what the characters are. Our 2 main characters, I'm not going to say their names because I don't remember them, honestly.
Yeah, neither do I.
Which I'm sorry about that, but My fucking bad. I don't remember shit. We have a really quiet, more... She doesn't really show emotion. She's a very collected person, and she seems like she's really shy. She's really good at playing the fucking oboe. She could crush that shit.
She plays a mean oboe.
She hella does. And then our other character is, she's a lot bubblier. She has a pretty boisterous personality. She has a lot of friends. She's pretty outspoken. And she plays the flute. So she is the reason that our quiet girl got into music. She said, hey, do you do anything after school or do you just go home? She's like, yeah, just go home. And she's like, well, you should consider joining the music club. I think that would be really great if you joined concert band. So you should try it out with me. You might really like it. And then she joined and she did like it. And she has followed this character ever since. She's really loved how much personality she has, and she really cares about all of her choices and how kind of her life is different, I think. And she admires her in that way. And she sees her as a role model. Even though they're the same age, she could see, like, I focus on nothing in my life, and she clearly has something that she cares about. And then our more bubbly personality character really appreciates this other character for the quiet, contemplative character for being such a kind of just a person to bounce off different words and ideas and get more honest answers out of than all of our other friends. Even though, it doesn't really show any particular conversations that go in hard with like, hey, I'm thinking about this. What do you think of that? It does show that they each really care about what the other person says in different ways and how they interact, and they're best friends. It drives that home really quick, just to let you know, like, hey, they're close to each other. This movie isn't going to have them with each other the entire time, but it's definitely got a big focus on that. And now we get into the part where our characters are trying to figure out why aren't they good at playing the solo together despite being such good friends. Turns out our oboist has been kind of holding back, and it's been recognized by other people that she's not really playing to her fullest amount, but she's really good, and people respect that. In fact, so much that there are other musicians in this concert band. One of them's a younger student, and she admires her passion for playing the oboe, and she really looks up to this character. And she has like a really friendly personality. And she's like, hey, me and some of the other double reed instruments, we're going to meet up. We're going to go get some food together. It's going to be fucking great. And we wanted to invite you. We think it would be so cool if we all just hung out. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to pass on that one today, but thank you. And, she's invited a couple of times. They're talking, and it's more so just like the fun younger kid talking to her versus a real conversation. But it's not like our quiet character doesn't respect her or anything. It's just, she's shy. She's not used to making friends or anything. And she's carving her own reed. She's making it. She's wrapping the string around. It's pretty cool actually seeing that little bit. And this younger character comes up and is like, oh my gosh, you make your own reeds? Like, that's crazy. Yeah, no, I do that. It's hard, but it's not too hard. I could teach you. And she's like, oh my gosh, that would be amazing. And they're just having this little conversation like, I can't believe you make your own. And then it gets quiet for a second, and she comes out and she's like, I failed my audition. I didn't get the part that I wanted, so I can't play that. And she like kind of has a breakdown, and it's cool to see that even though they're really subtle things, this really shy character that doesn't say much just puts in that extra effort of being like, I can show you how to make these. Like, we're friends. Yeah. That was kind of their first, like, we do relate to each other moment. Yeah. And she feels like she could be really emotionally honest at that point. And I thought that was beautiful to show that even though there are people that don't say much, their words have a lot of power.
Yeah, no, and then she grows. I mean, from what I remember, I feel like later on, she gets invited. The quiet girl gets invited to go to the pool, right? And then she goes, "Do you mind if I invite someone else?" Which shocks the the other girl.
Yeah,
she was like, really? Wow, that's kind of
the flutist.
Very odd of you, but yeah, go ahead. And she invites this girl that she is bonding with, even though it's very subtle or whatever.
Yeah, and this cracked me up. You were fucking mad because it was like, hey, pool. You want to come to the pool? Like, we'll go. It's spring break. Let's fucking go to the pool. It'll be awesome. Can I invite a friend? Oh, shit. Yeah, fuck yeah, you can invite a friend. This is going to be awesome.
Dude, they were hyping the pool up so fucking hard.
I'm so stoked about the pool. We're going to have so much fun at the pool. It's going to be the best. Cuts to the next scene. Just like, hey, look at these pictures from the pool.
And I was just like, I literally looked like, did they not show the pool? And he goes, no, I'm like, fuck this bullshit. I was so mad. I was like, how dare you fucking,
you got so
titillized me with fucking
invested.
The pool. Yeah. I was just like, it's girls at the pool, man. Gonna have a good time with the girls at the pool. Mm-hmm. Didn't fucking have any time with the girls at the pool.
It cracked me up.
I was super fucking upset.
Honestly, I love so much that they didn't include that.
Yeah.
Because
it would have changed the movie.
The only thing that I could think of, aside from like Free, which I'm sure a lot of plot happens at the pool in Free, because it's about swimming. The only other thing that I could think of that has a lot of pool plot is Orange.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Right?
Pool heavy, dog. Right. Pool heavy. Yeah. It makes sense that, like you were talking about how like this movie is a very subtle thing. It's a slow burn. It's not
it's careful.
It shows you the minimum, right? It shows you what you need, not what it doesn't give you everything.
Yeah.
If we would have gone to the pool, we would have seen this. It would have been a huge change of pace from what we've been seeing recently.
I mean, at the pool, it's just a bunch of people having fun and cheering and laughing.
And then we probably would have seen there would have been a shot of like our main character girl, the quiet girl, like sitting there, and then like someone would have come up to her and be like, "Hey, what's up? You want to do this?" And she would probably be like, okay,
yeah, sounds fun, let's do that.
And
honestly,
it wouldn't really,
the pool is too much action and not enough character behind it.
Yeah,
because everyone's gonna swim and play and have fun. That's just what it is. That's what you go to the pool to do. So to have a big pool type conversation, it's gonna be hard. I mean, when everything else has been this.
Even when we do get we don't go to the pool. We don't get shown the pool. We get to see the picture of the pool, and there's a picture of all of them together, and then we see another picture of the young girl is showing her senpai, the quiet chick, and she's just like in the back in the shade, like sitting down or whatever, like the way I described how she would or whatever. It was like, fuck, they accomplished the one scene they could have done with the pool without going to the pool.
They did it,
fucking assholes.
I think it's so cool that they do that little bit. And there are different conversations about what do I want to do? And I don't really know. And lots of things where it's just kind of the characters not necessarily lying, but not being entirely honest and truthful with other characters and about their ambitions and goals and why they want to do things. And I love that there are a couple of conversations throughout the movie. Earlier on, there's some side characters saying some weird ass shit about free ice cream or something like that. And it's what the fuck's free ice cream?
Jinx, essentially.
It's Jinx. It's our version of Jinx, essentially, is what it comes down to. And there's another thing where two characters are like, I love you, and they hug each other. And then the other character is like, whoa, what's going on with that? Oh, they're from this school. It was a big thing at that school to have I love you hugs. It's where two friends really care about each other, and they announce I love you, and they hug each other. And it's a totally normal thing. It's not even fucking weird. It's not a relationship thing. It's just what they do. It's how they show affection. Whatever. That's all good.
That's how Trip and I show affection.
Yeah, I love you hugs, man.
I love you hugs.
And those get brought up later in, one of them's a pretty big scene.
Fucking bullshit, man.
The characters have spending some time apart.
They've been drifting.
Yeah, essentially what's happening is they're trying to focus on why am I not doing good in this solo, and why are you doing so good? And our quiet girl decides, you know what? I'm not doing well because I'm holding back, and I've kind of figured out what this story is. I've got to shine. I have to announce myself, and that's what I got to do. And she plays her solo incredibly. It's a beautiful solo. They're about to start, and I'm like, all right, well, let's just start from the top. Why don't we do that? And she's like, hey, can we actually start from my point? Mm-hmm. And then the instructor's like, fuck yeah, let's do it, man. Let's go. And they rock it. They fucking, oh man, it's a beautiful scene. The music is incredible. It's just so well done. And then we see other characters and their kind of reactions to it. And there's a couple of girls that are crying because it was so moving. And then you could really sense the frustration in our happy-go-lucky flautist. She's feeling the pain of, I have been the one who's been holding her back.
Yeah.
She's been able to do this, but she hasn't done it until now.
Because of me, yeah.
And that's where we kind of start seeing the divide of we start seeing their true feelings about their situations come out. Even though they've been in denial about certain things, they start accepting, okay, well, maybe I'm not as good at music and I'm better at music than her. And I've always seen her as a role model. And it turns out that I need to
surpass her,
move on because this is for me and it's not for her, as it turns out. And it kind of goes on, and we see these different conversations all throughout, and it's just building and building into, we still care about each other, but how do we express this? And the way that the more happy-go-lucky character wants to go about it is, I need to push her away so she could focus on her music.
Yeah, essentially distancing yourself on purpose.
Yeah, which I think is something that it doesn't happen frequently in life, but there are definitely moments where it's like, I can't be around this person anymore
because I'm hurting them.
I'm not doing anything good for them, or the opposite. I can't be around them because they're not doing anything good for me.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that one's more likely that we see. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's a little bit of both, but to realize, you know what, like, this particular person is being negatively affected by me and I need to let her go kind of thing it's a difficult thing to watch, and the way that it was handled was so, oh man, it was impactful. You got very upset, even from falling asleep like this much. You got super mad because what happens is, it's after they practice, it's after this whole moment, and they've been getting slowly distant and distant. Then we have that big solo, and that's kind of the catalyst for our big divide, where everyone's kind of going up to our oboe player, and they're being like, you were fucking incredible, bro.
You killed it.
You just made me feel feelings I didn't know were possible.
Yeah.
You are the next Beethoven. You are so inspiring. And then we see the other character was not really feeling that because she feels down on herself for being so shitty, and she headed out early, and our oboe player is looking around like, oh man, where is she? She's gone, and tries to catch up with her really quick. So she comes and she's like, hey, and they're just in the hallway alone. And our flautist looks back and is like, oh, hey, didn't see you.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I'll see you later. And tries to head off really quick. And she's like, hey, do you want to...
Can I get a hug?
Yeah, do you want to do a friendship hug? And she's like, maybe next time. Oh. As her arms are out, and she's like, I love you.
Oh my God, Trip. I was so fucking mad.
It was just a really slow, can we hug?
It was very sweet. It was very endearing, very like, yeah,
like, I know that we're at different points,
but I care about you.
I really do care about
really
you.
Need this hug
and
right
I
now.
know that this was hard for you and you need a hug. And I also want a hug. And you just felt so much in those small words.
Like,
there's so much power behind those words.
And the fact that she pauses and then she's just like, yeah, maybe next time. And she walks away. It hurt. Fucking mad. And this is me catching half the movie because I'm asleep the whole time, but I don't know if you tapped me to wake up for this scene, but
you were awake.
I was for sure awake for this
because you were watching the music, the amazing music, which was great.
Seeing that and just being like, man, fuck this bitch.
Yeah, and then you didn't fall asleep the rest of the movie.
I was so
because you got so mad.
And then you're like, oh, now you're invested. Like, yeah, I fucking invested this fucking bitch over here. Fucking iced our other bitch.
That was kind of the final step of you have to go on your own.
Yeah.
And the rest of the movie is kind of figuring out what they need to do and then slowly reconnecting and realizing, okay, we both have different paths. And they do have an honest conversation of, I didn't get recommended to go to music college and you did. And I don't know what I need to do with my life, but I guess I need to start studying because this isn't the right route for me and I need to focus on academia.
Yeah. But you have the music, you have to keep going.
You're incredible. Don't stop.
And, they had at the very end part of it, they're going out to have lunch or something like that, or to have some sort of treat, and they're they're having a conversation and they're talking, and one of them stops and says like, he's like, like, you're fucking amazing, and like he says some shit like, I'm trying really hard to keep up with you, just give me some time, I'll fucking get. Then the one that's like, yo, fucking I love playing the oboe or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was very like,
I love playing the oboe
or whatever. And then she's just like, yeah, fuck yeah. And then they say something at the same time, right? And then she goes, oh, I love ice cream or something like that, right?
Yeah, I want like free ice cream.
And then she goes, cool, let's go get ice cream. And like it ends. Like,
oh, you want ice cream then?
No, fucking bitch, speak up. You want ice cream? Let's go get ice cream. And that's how it ends, right? Like,
yeah, they're friends. Yeah. They're gonna go get ice cream. It brought everything together, and I love this movie. Yeah. I seen it the first time. I was like, it was really good. I feel like it was not fantastic, but it was really, really well done. It did a lot of things that were better than other movies, but it's not a movie for everyone. And I still don't think it's a movie for everyone.
Yeah.
It is completely a character movie.
The plot is very,
it's a very simple plot.
Yeah.
It's an exploration of character and dialogue and music. It's such a beautiful story, but it's clearly not for everyone because it doesn't have any big scenes of action or a lot of little moments. Like, think of The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, which is also a very like figuring out who I am, figuring out like what kind of purpose should we all have, and what are our goals and ambitions.
She's learning to be who she is or whatever. And and you're right. There's huge moments of levity, a lot of big jokes, a lot of fucking action stuff that happens, a lot of suspense and stuff. As a, and it's the same thing, it's a coming of age of this girl, whatever, but it's done completely differently.
So different. I mean, aside from like the plot elements of it, it's just each character handles things in completely different ways. In that, like The Girl Who Leapt Through Time is a lot more of like, oh, well now like let's do some of this shit, and you're just seeing like a whole bunch of different things going on. And Liz and the Bluebird is a movie where it goes into everything with, we have no goal here. But to play music well and to be friends, and here's an exploration of their friendship.
Yeah, and
it felt more real, I think.
No, it does. And like the snippets that we get, like, are either in the music room, in a classroom, like walking to school, in the hallway. It's very minimalist. It's very simple. Like, like we said, we don't get the big fucking pool scene or whatever. We don't get anything. People talk about going out for fucking snacks and stuff, and we just hear this secondhand because that's not the point of the fucking movie. The point of the movie isn't to be like, wow, I'm having a great time hanging out with my gal pals or whatever. That's not this movie. This movie is like, let's watch these two characters and let's see what the relationship is, like in the simplest form, which is just them playing music at school.
It feels so raw.
Yeah, no, it feels very real is what it feels like. It feels like a very genuine thing that could happen, like some of the animes we watch are just like fucking wild,
Yeah. Patema Inverted, for example.
But this one, it felt like, this feels like a drama or something, like a fucking movie that could be made. I don't know, an indie movie. It's not gonna be
it feels like an indie movie more than anything else.
It's not a blockbuster. It's not a fucking, it's something like that. It's for sure like an indie movie about these two chicks and their relationship. And
I think that's the part of it that blows my mind, is that this is like an indie movie, even though it's made by such a fucking studio, man. Yeah. Like Kyoto Animation, I don't know if there's a better studio that does different shows and movies and whatnot.
Probably not,
I mean, you look at like Makoto Shinkai, and clearly everything that he does is fucking gorgeous. And he has different studios that work with him behind that.
Yeah.
But I think Kyoto Animation, for everything that they do, they make TV shows and stuff. They make all different kinds of stuff out there, commercials, and their animation is top tier, and they have a bunch of different styles.
One thing that I knew for sure going into this movie was, as soon as like Kyoto Animation thing popped up, I was like, oh well, it's gonna look gorgeous.
Yeah,
like there's no doubt about it. Like
some of the best like backgrounds,
fucking beautiful backgrounds. And again, like something that I don't pay too much attention to is music, because like it's not the most important thing to me.
Yeah.
But this fucking thing had some amazing music. The music that they played, the music that was in the background. It was very well done. I mean, the reason I fell asleep wasn't because I was bored. It was because I was tired.
Yeah.
And
it's one of those slow, even though it's not a boring kind of slow, it is slow.
Yeah, it isn't.
It takes a little bit to get you going and to know more about the characters, and just the way that everything feels like they're handling it with so much care. It makes you feel like they're treating you to something that's really cozy and careful and curated, and that's a comfortable feeling.
Yeah,
so it's easy to fall asleep to this. Honestly, I'm thinking of this movie and I'm like, yeah, I would watch this again like today if somebody was like, hey, have you seen this movie? I'm like, of course, let's watch it.
I'd watch it again,
and
too.
we watched it yesterday.
I mean, I would watch it again.
To just on your own accord.
Just to give it a fair shake and be like, well, I'm an asshole and I miss these good bits. But from what I did see, like, I really enjoyed it. You talked about it a little bit, but there's also like this whole like surreal element of like,
we didn't really go into this.
But there's parts where like in the movie, we get to see a visual representation of the actual story of Liz and the Bluebird. Mm-hmm. It's not really clear if like who's imagining this or is this like someone's reading the book. It just kind of happens, which was probably I would say my least favorite part of the movie, just because like I get I get why I was there. I just like the other parts more,
Oh yeah, well the other parts were really great, but this was definitely showing like this is the story of Liz and the Bluebird. This is the way that our story is unfolding.
Yeah,
so they showed those, and it was like a fantastical element to it. Which the animation behind this, it was like all watercolor type things, where the main characters in these watercolor settings and the houses and whatnot, they were all just regular anime.
And when you think about it, I mean, the way they did it, the way they told the story of Liz and the Bluebird within, the actual story within this movie, is the way they did it is really smart, because fucking before this, I didn't have no idea what the fuck Liz and the Bluebird was, Yeah. Maybe it's common knowledge for some people from different countries where this is from.
I don't think so.
To us, it's just like, I've never heard of this. I thought Liz and the Bluebird was just the name of this movie, but it's actually the name of a book and of the musical piece that they're working on, And so that's why I had to clarify with you. Like, like when they talk about, because they're all talking about this thing, I was like, this is like a story. And like, yes, it's like, okay, this makes sense. It's not just like, it doesn't feel out of place or whatever, It's well done and it's really smart, because besides them showing us the story of Liz and Bluebird, they'd have to tell us, with the words and dialogue. Yeah. It's like, that's fucking boring,
They also have some smaller sequences of the representation of characters in a white background with like sponge art or watercolor. That's not actually story. It's artistic visualizations of the characters' emotions or their current plot that's going on, their current developments. It's all done in this artistic way. Like we get to see sponge art of a bird flying, the bluebird flying, and kind of how that looks. We get to see their colors represented by different drops of watercolor, and just some really careful things that they definitely did in a more art film kind of way.
Yeah, it's for sure. It felt artsy. It felt like it was something to be an independent movie. Like there's a bit where the color purple and color blue mix together or whatever and make this like, pink thing or whatever, And it's just like, I get it. I understand, because I am fucking cultured AF,
Sure.
But it was like a nice touch, a nice change of pace.
I really like that they're showing, not just, because you get to see the characters like come together and whatnot, but then they're like, and I'm going to show you an artistic representation of the way that they're coming together.
What's happening.
And I thought that was so weird and cool and new. Other movies have not done things like this.
Other anime movies at least haven't done things like this.
I haven't seen anything at all that's done stuff like that, but yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I enjoyed it from what I watched. I would watch it again. I do agree with you. I don't think it's for everybody. Just because you like anime, you can't be like, oh, you like anime? Cool, check out Listen Bluebird. That's a bad call.
This is like, hey, you like indie shit? Yeah. Check this fucking shit out. Yeah.
Oh, do you like Naruto? You'd fucking love Listen Bluebird. So yeah, man, unless you got anything else to say about it, I think we're pretty much done. Yeah,
I loved this movie. Yeah, and I think I already said it, but I liked this more watching it the second time than the first, and it is one of my favorite movies after watching it the second time.
Well, the second time you saw it like in the comfort of your home as opposed to like an auditorium with like a bunch of people, right?
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well,
and hey, was your buddy Juan sleeping with you the first time you saw it?
That's true. He wasn't. Yeah.
His snoring probably really added a little depth to the fucking thing. I would like to say I was confused at when we started watching it, because I remember when this movie came out, right? You also watched this other movie about a couple of lesbians. So the whole time I was like, where the fuck's the lesbians? Why aren't they fucking kissing? And they're like, wrong movie. By the end of it, I was like, oh, this was about friendship and like love, but like not that kind of love.
But also maybe that kind of love. Maybe. It was never that clear, but I like that it wasn't, because it definitely.
But the other one was for sure like about lesbians, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. Right,
no, they were like, it was like, oh, you want to hold hands? You want to kiss? Or like whatever.
Yeah. And so that's what I thought we were watching. I was like, oh, we're watching the other one. Cool, whatever.
No, that was like, it was blooming to you, but it wasn't blooming to you.
I bet you if it was lesbians in this movie, I wouldn't have fucking slept a bit.
All right, so that's been our episode of Instagram Podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening to us.
Anyways, yeah, that's the episode. Do you know what we're talking about next week?
I sure don't.
Cool, so we'll figure it out. And
I don't know, like some movie or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We don't exactly know just yet. If you like our logo, hit up Aaron from TurbyTops.com. If you like our theme song, check out Tom Nasser on SoundCloud and YouTube. Trip, where can people find us?
You can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instagram Podcast. Same thing goes for Instagram. Look up the Instagram Podcast. If you want to tweet at us, tweet at Instagram Pod.
Podcast benefit.
You could go ahead and send us an email, InstagramPodcast@gmail.com. And you get to find us like fucking everywhere.
Apparently.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. So
we were looking up our stats for the first time ever, because we just applied for Crunchyroll Expo press passes. Yeah. It's weird looking at stats. It's not something we do. It was fun.
Yeah, I went straight to Trip's side. He thinks we're fucking famous.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyways,
smash
you
that
guys
like
can send me all of your gold and treasures. I've got a P.O. box down in the description below.
You were like, when do we monetize this? Like, shut the fuck up, Trip. We're never monetizing this.
I love making jokes like that.
So when do we monetize?
You know what? People do ask that. They're like, so what got you into it? How much money do you make? And I'm like, no, man, this is a hobby.
No money.
This is just for fun. And if people like the fun that we're having, I like them. And I'm glad that they're having fun. Everyone should just enjoy everything.
That being said, the moment we can sell out, we will sell out.
Oh, yeah, it will. Absolutely. You offer me $10, sold. Let's fucking go.
Sold. Instagram Podcast is yours. Anyway, this is bye from Juan.
See you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just add hot water.